So today's episode, we're kind of doing a little different. I'm out and about, and I've been planning on recording this episode, but it came to me while I was driving. So I figured, okay, let's go to one of our favorite spots. Let's just get down to peace and let's talk about it. In today's episode, we're continuing on with the 7 essential pillars of living and loving a dope life. And we've finally hit one of my favorite pillars. All 7 of them are my favorite pillars, but this one right here, it really hits different, which is giving yourself permission. Giving yourself permission is doing what's best for you. It's allowing you to authentically be in your own skin and figuring out what that even looks like, feels like, what it smells like, what things you see around you, what would it be? And it does take work, a little bit of work, but ultimately in the end, you're just kind of like, yo, I wish I did this sooner. And you'll never go back. You'll absolutely never go back. Also, when it comes towards giving yourself permission, it also goes down to your emotions in a big way. And I mean that by, let's say you're going through a sense of hardship, anxiety, depression, anything, right? There's something going on. Allow yourself to go through it. Giving yourself permission to feel those emotions, not sit in it for too long, but to feel the emotions and work your way through it. Giving yourself, instead of like, let's say pushing it all down and suppressing the shit out of it, allowing yourself to feel it, allowing yourself to work through it, and know that on the other side of the bridge that you're going to be grateful you did that work. Because believe it or not, when we go through those hardship moments and we go through those very difficult times, there's always a lesson out of it, and there's always something that you can use moving forward. There's always something that you can take with you to say, okay, God forbid I go through another hard time, a tough, difficult time in my life, I kind of have the tools to move forward, to take care of myself. And that's the whole point of when I coach with a client, I can give you all the tools in the world that will work for you and your lifestyle and where you are in your life. Of course, that's not it. That's the simplistic part of it. My meat and potatoes, the most important part that means to me is how you could figure out a way to maintain it in the tough times. Like the times where life is knocking you on your ass, and you got to figure out a way to take these tools to carry you go forward, right? Like, let's say you're going through a very difficult time and you're like, okay, coach reminded me to give myself permission. An activity that you could do is really like write on a sheet of paper, like on a post-it note or something, and just say, hey, yo, I'm giving myself permission to whatever it is. I'm giving myself permission to feel grace. I'm giving myself permission to just be. I'm giving myself permission to allow my emotions to take to the surface before I just feel so like I suppress it so much that it's hurting me versus me releasing it and feeling better. I give myself permission to step back. Just saying that out loud, and actually sometimes writing on like a little sheet of paper, just saying I give myself permission can go such a long way, more than you think. It's beneficial when you say the word, because sometimes possibly in our past, we may have felt like we could not give ourselves permission. We could not be the voice that we needed and we wanted at that moment. So guess what? This is the time for you to be that voice that you probably needed back then, by just saying, I give myself permission to allow myself to feel, to allow myself to be, to exist, to love, to care, to be kind, to be compassionate, to show up for myself. I give myself permission to show up for me, how I am right now in this position of my life. I give myself permission to call me out on my ish. You know what I'm saying? I give myself permission to be accountable. It's endless. It's absolutely endless. But by saying I give myself permission, you're taking control of your life. You're taking control of the things that matter to you. You're taking control of where you want to be. You're taking control of your priorities, the things that are ideal to you, the things that mean the most to you. Just saying the words, I give myself permission, and you fill in the blank, it's allowing you to literally put you first. It's allowing you to care for yourself. It's allowing you to love yourself. It's allowing you to embrace yourself. And again, it's not just sometimes the present version of yourself that you are giving yourself permission. You're giving yourself permission for the past version of you, like I said, but you're also giving self permission for the future version of you. And a way that you could also kind of tap into like giving yourself permission, and this could also benefit the future version of you, like the ideal person that you're trying to build at the moment, is creating your own avatar. So literally, like we do it all the time with like Facebook and all these social media platforms. Hey, apply that to yourself. Create your own avatar. What does a person look like? How do they, what are their day-to-day? What are their choices? What are the things that they do to be that ideal person? What do they do to maintain it? Like, what are the things that they like to enjoy? What are their environments that are in? That's a big one. What are the environments that they are in? What environments did they have to be in to grow? What environments did they have to be in to feel safe? What are the things that they do to feel safe, seen, heard, and protected? You know, like these are critical and small little ingredients and steps you can take, and it's impactful. And even though, let's say, for example, you create that avatar version of you, doesn't mean you got to keep that same avatar version. You can always switch it up. Let's say if you find out, oh man, like I'm going to be signing this contract, or I'm going to be doing this job, or I'm going back to school. Now you got to add that in. So they have that now. What else are they doing? What else is that avatar doing? So I ask you this, what way can you give yourself permission? How could you give yourself permission today? Like in the comments below, I'm going to put, I give myself permission. Fill in the comments below. What do you give yourself permission to do? How are you going to give yourself permission today? All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Again, go ahead, screenshot. You know how I always do. Screenshot the episode. Pop it in your IG, YouTube, Facebook, whatever story you got. Tag us in it. We greatly appreciate it at Dope Life Coach _ on Instagram, and at Dope Life Coach on TikTok. And of course, you can just tag me here on YouTube as well, or on Spotify, however you're watching this or listening to this. As always, I greatly appreciate all the support everyone's giving me. I still got one more episode to do with the 7 essential pillars. We're almost there. And I hope to see you next week so that we can tune in and close off the series. As always, y'all, I'll see you next week. Walk with peace. Walk with love.